The tone section in the basic panel allows you to make some really major adjustments to the tone in your image. Everything starts out at 0, and I oftentimes like to click on that auto button to see what Lightroom thinks that I should actually do to the photo in terms of the tone. Sometimes it does a good job, sometimes it's just okay, sometimes it's way off the charts and I have to start from scratch. In this case, I'm just going to undo that and I'm going to start over and just kind of do this all by hand. The exposure slider is just that. It's allowing you to increase or decrease the exposure. It's really similar to a brightness slider. Contrast will increase or decrease the contrast in the photo. Most of the look I'm going for is a very natural look, so I'm usually not pushing these sliders too far to the left or the right. The highlight slider will decrease or increase the brightness of the highlight areas, and that's typically going to be the whites. In this photo, it's going to be the blurry water, so if I were to move it to the left, it's going to start showing me some more of that detail in that area. And if I were to push it to the right, it's going to start blowing it out. These types of sliders are when I have to be careful and I want to make sure that I can actually view those highlights. So I just press the J key, and you can see in the top there, if I move that slider too far to the right, I'm starting to get some overexposed areas there where there's really no detail. So I may want to move this maybe just a little to the right or a little to the left. It just kind of depends on which direction I want to go with this. The shadow slider will either darken or add brightness to the shadow areas. By moving it to the right, those shadow areas started to get a little bit more bright. You want to be careful pushing this too far because you can add a little bit of noise into those shadow areas if it goes too far to the right. The white slider is really similar to a exposure or brightness slider, but it's not quite as extreme, and despite its name, it's not only affecting the whites in the image. If I move it to the right, you can see it's increasing the brightness overall, particularly in some of those areas that are already bright, like the white water. And the black slider will either intensify the blacks or soften them. So by moving it to the left, it's adding more intensity to the black areas. And if I move it to the right, it's kind of acting like the shadow slider, where it's adding a little bit of brightness to that area. For this image real quickly, I would probably increase the contrast, maybe increase those shadows a little bit, add a little blacks. And there I have a nice, beautiful contrasty image.